In this video, we're going to talk about how to get Zoom for the first time, some of these settings the first time you're using it, and then how to create your own meeting. So a lot of you have probably already used Zoom since last year. You probably ended up having to use it. The easiest way to do it is go to zoom.us, sign up. So go ahead and put your date of birth. I'm going to pause right here. So put your date of birth. You'll put your email address after that. So go ahead and put in your GSSM address. And after that, you'll get a link in your email to start using Zoom. Now, the first time you use it, it's going to download an application. So you can just go directly to that if you want to. So Zoom download. And you just go straight to here and run the Zoom installer. Now I already have it installed here. We'll go ahead and load. And just do another quick walkthrough. So you'll see something like that. It doesn't really have to do a whole lot. It's not going to ask you a bunch of questions because it's kind of meant to install in the background as you're joining a meeting for the first time. Now you'll see there on the bottom there is Zoom available for iOS and Android. I would suggest you do your best to use it on a PC or a Mac when you are in class. It's a little hard to keep a tablet or your phone nice and still, and the sound quality is often not really as good as if you had a little better setup with a headset and everything. Okay, so we download Zoom, it launches, you have something that looks like this. It may or may not have you logged in. If you are not logged in, there's a little thing right here where you can click on it and log yourself in. And let me just show you a few little settings here. Now, there are tons and tons of settings. I just want to show a couple so that you kind of understand some of the neat options. A lot of these settings are actually for the host, not really for the participants, and you're going to be the participant the most of the time. One of the ones you might want to tinker with here is the use dual monitors. If you have two monitors or if you have your laptop and you could hook it up to your TV, it does make using Zoom quite a bit easier in my opinion. When I'm teaching, I can have all of the students on my big TV, and then I could look at the content on the laptop. You could do the same thing. So you could have the professor and the other students up on the big TV, and then you could just focus on the content on your PC. Otherwise, they're sort of both on the same screen. You have the content that your professor may be sharing, and then you have that kind of view of the students if you choose to have that view. And it's a little harder to, I'd say, deal with when it's looking like that. So I would encourage you to try to use dual monitors if you can. Now, video settings, you can tinker around here. One thing I do want to show you is you can have multiple cameras. So sometimes your laptop may actually have two cameras, may have an inward facing, outward facing. I know some of them have one that's right here in front, one some point up. In this case, I actually have an external camera and I have my built-in laptop camera. So you'll see right here, that is my built-in laptop camera. So that's why that sort of view is up here. And then I have an external camera that's actually a little more natural view of actually looking head on. So the setup here, I know this is going to be a little awkward. Let me sort of show you the basic setup here. Is I have a laptop and then a TV on top of it, and then I have my camera in front of the TV. So when I'm in a Zoom session, the students are all up there, my content is right here. So when I'm actually talking to my students, you can see me sort of addressing them head on. And that's the kind of thing I would say you should try to emulate a little bit. I know you're not the presenter, but it's still, especially in something like an English class where it is important to make as best eye contact as you can, I would say this setup is a little nicer than sort of looking down at the screen. At least I think it is. Again, your professors may sort of give you some other advice, so definitely take their advice with respect to their class. A couple sort of quick settings here. Enable HD. Sometimes that changes the view, so you're going to see this really wide, almost fisheye view here. Um, I haven't really noticed a whole lot different between enable HD and not enable HD. Obviously, one of them has better resolution, but once I'm one of 9 people on the screen, I don't think it matters a whole lot. So you might want to have that off just to save you a little bandwidth at home. Let's see. The other setting I might have on here is spotlight my video when I speak. That'll sort of make you zoom in when you're talking so you know that you're actually making noise. And that sort of goes along with the other thing I want to talk about in here, which is audio. Now you can again pick a different speaker here. Right now I have a headset on, so that's why you see Logitech USB headset. If I had an external speaker, if I wanted to use laptop speaker, I could pick those instead. The thing I would make sure you have on is right here, mute my microphone when joining a meeting. A lot of the time, especially if you have, say, an early morning meeting, you may be rushing to get to the meeting, making sure you get to class on time. You log in, there's a bunch of other stuff going on in your house. It's very distracting if every time somebody joins, there's sort of a bunch of background noise. So I would leave that on. You pop in, your teacher is probably going to say hi when you come in, unmute, say hi, mute again when you're all done. Okay, the only other thing I really want to show you, so there are tons and tons of settings here. You can go through them. It doesn't really matter a whole lot. I'd say some of you might want to tinker around with this. It's kind of cool to put in video filters and virtual backgrounds, but it doesn't really affect your learning. So I'm not really going to go through a lot of that. So let's just show you how to make a meeting. So right here, there are 2 ways to make a meeting. I can either click New Meeting and it just starts up, or I can click Schedule and sort of pick a meeting time for later and invite participants. So we're just going to go ahead and create one here. New Meeting. You'll see something like this, and you'll see that I am unmuted as soon as I joined. Again, you are rarely going to be hosting, so the one thing that I do want to show you here that I wasn't able to show you in the next video because it wasn't enabled is some professors will allow you to share your screen. I do this a lot because often I'll have students working on code and I want somebody to show the code they did. So if they have that enabled, you'll see this right here. You click on that, you'll have sort of an option on what you want to share. Now, I really only have a couple windows open here, so I could choose to show my Chrome window. If I had C++ open, IDE open, I could choose that. I often just share my whole screen. I don't really have anything going on my computer. I don't care if people see. So I'll click on screen and then share my screen. You'll see sort of my whole screen there. You'll see that green window around it. That's showing what you are actually sharing. Again, most of this, if you are setting a meeting yourself, I would say you might want to look up how to use some of these settings. But for the most part, you're going to be a participant. So you're going to log in, you're going to watch when the meeting's over, you're going to click end, and you'll see just leave meeting if you're a participant. Here, since I'm the host, I'm going to see an end meeting for all. So we'll end. Hopefully that will get you started with Zoom. There's another video that talks a little more about what it's like to be a participant.